Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. This week I have 3 incredibly easy, simple, delicious, healthy, amazing and everything else under the sun recipes for you guys. Basically, I love soups and I have soups like almost every single day, and I thought, why don't I share this? I have one Turkish recipe for you and it's super dear to my heart because it's something that my nan used to make a lot. It's basically like a tomatoey, pasty soup kind of thing, but it's really delicious, so let's get into that. So you will need something called Sehriye, and this is a type of pasta, I believe, and it's a Turkish ingredient, so you might need to find this at a Turkish supermarket or you might need to look online for this. Just add that to your pot, turn on your heat and just toast those until they go golden brown. This should take you about a couple minutes. So I'm just adding a tablespoon of olive oil here. If you want to make this as healthy as possible, then I would suggest not adding any oil at all and just skipping the step altogether. But I really wanted to make this taste as best as possible without making it too unhealthy because my family was going to eat it as well. So I'm now adding my can of tomatoes. If you have access to fresh tomatoes that taste really delicious, then just add 4 or 5 of those rather than chopped tomatoes. But I live in England and the tomatoes here are an absolute joke. So I'm adding canned tomatoes. If you are adding fresh tomatoes, then be sure to grate them first. So now I'm just giving everything a little mix. And just so that everything's all smooth, I'm just going to mash those really large tomato bits with a potato masher. So after a couple minutes of cooking that down, it should have thickened up a little bit. So at this point, feel free to add your tomato paste and mix it in. Now just let that thicken up for a couple more minutes. Now go ahead and add your water in. If at any point you feel like there isn't enough water and it's getting a little bit too thick, feel free to add a little bit more water in. And now I'm just going to add my concentrated lemon. If you can't get your hands on this, then feel free to add fresh lemon juice, but this just gives it a little bit more of a sour taste. You can find this at any Turkish supermarket or you can have a look online. Now close the lid and let that cook on medium heat for about 15 more minutes. And then add some salt to taste. The Sehriye should be fat and plump by now, and that's how you know you're done. But if you want this to taste even better, then put a lid on it, turn off the heat and let that sit in its own heat for about 15 more minutes. This is just going to make the Sehriye get a little bit thicker and it's just going to taste a little bit nicer. If you are really hungry, this is an optional step, so you can just totally skip this. Up next, I'm going to be showing you how to make a vegetable soup that is extremely healthy, delicious and simple. So just pop all of your veggies into your pot. I did grate the carrot and the potato just to make the cooking process much easier because it's going to cook quicker that way. Again, I am adding a tablespoon of olive oil here, but if you want to make this as healthy as possible, then don't add any oil at all. Pop a lid on everything and just let it cook down for about 7 to 10 minutes on medium heat. When it looks like this, you know that your veggies have cooked down and you can add your tomato paste in now. Then give everything a little mix. And let the tomato paste cook down a little bit with the veggies as well. So you're now ready to add your water and your spices in. Now give everything a stir. Put a lid on it and let it cook down for about 15 minutes. And now blend away. Yes, I did change the pot that it was in because I didn't want to scratch the bottom surface of the previous pot. So I transferred everything to this metal one instead. How much you want to blend it is totally up to you, but I like mine quite smooth. I don't mind a couple pieces here and there, so I blended mine for a couple minutes. Okay, next up I have an incredibly easy, simple, delicious and healthy butternut squash soup recipe. This is honestly so quick, like the hardest part of this is literally cutting the butternut squash. But other than that, it's so easy.
So the first thing you want to do is just take out the seeds from the inside. And just chop up the butternut squash into little pieces. Try to keep all the pieces the same size, even though mine is like totally off. But it just means that they're gonna cook at the same time. To a tablespoon of oil, I'm just adding my onions and my carrot. If you want to make this a little bit more filling, you can even add a potato in as well. Again, if you want to make this as healthy as possible, then just remove the oil. But I don't mind a little bit of oil because it's for the whole pot. So after you cook those down for a couple minutes, you're ready to add the butternut squash and the veggie stock. Pop a lid on everything and just let it cook down for another 15 to 20 minutes or until the butternut squash has softened down. So now I'm just using a fork to see how much the butternut squash has cooked, and since the fork can pretty much go through the butternut squash pretty easily, I know that the butternut squash is cooked. So now I'm ready to add my spices in. I'm just going to give everything a little stir again, and I'm going to pop a lid on that to let that cook for a couple more minutes just so those spices can be really driven in. And that is it. So the last step is just to blend everything together just to have a smooth soup, and then you're done. I really hope you enjoyed these 3 recipes, and I really hope you give them all a go. If you do try these out, I would love to hear how it goes in the comments down below. As always, thank you very much for watching this video, and don't forget to give it a like if you liked it and consider subscribing to my channel. And I will see you again next week. Bye!